Hello and welcome back to another episode of the RSEB podcast where we talk all things related to the capital market. On today's episode, we're going to be diverting slightly. Instead of the capital market, we're going to talk about another part of the financial system within securities, which is the money market. So another component of the money market is the commercial papers. So we have Dechen Pelden from the Policy Division in RSEB going to be talking about that. So before we begin, hello Dechen, thank you for joining us. And first question is very simple. Can you explain to us and our viewers what is a commercial paper?
So commercial paper is a short-term debt instrument with a maturity period of less than 365 days, and it is issued by incorporated companies in order to meet their immediate financial needs. And CPs are commonly used to meet short-term obligations such as utility bills, rent, or purchasing of raw materials and supplies. So here's how commercial papers work. So unlike regular loans and bonds that pay interest over time, commercial papers are issued at a discount. So it means it is usually sold to investors at a price lower than its actual value, which is the face value. So when the commercial paper matures, the investor will be paid back the full face value. So this difference between what the investor paid and what they receive at maturity is the interest or profit on the commercial paper.
Okay. So how does an institution or any company be eligible for these commercial papers?
So currently the commercial paper is open to a wide range of investors in Bhutan, and the eligible investors includes individuals, financial institutions, then incorporated companies and even private firms. So in a nutshell, the CP is eligible for both retail and institutional investors.
Okay. So how does it go about? How does, for example, let's take an example, a company A wants to issue a commercial paper. So how does one go about?
So the issuance process will be as per the regulation for issue of commercial paper 2022. So as per that regulation, the first step is application and documentation. So the company that wants to issue commercial paper will need to submit an application along with the required documents to the corporate regulatory authority. So the required documents would include the prospectus, then the CIB reports, their audited financial statements, and the board resolution approving the issuance of CP, and also the details of the collaterals. Then the next step would be due diligence and approval. So under the CRA, there is a primary market regulatory committee. So that committee is responsible for reviewing the submitted documents and then to ensure that the documents and requirements are in compliance with the regulation. So the PMRC will either approve or reject the prospectus based on the criteria set forth in the regulations. So once they have approved the prospectus, then the issuance will be there. So for the issuance, once the companies get approval from PMRC, then they need to put up an application to the exchange for the issuance of CP. Then once the issuance is completed, then the CP will be listed on the exchange.
Okay, so are there any risks associated with it, be it the issuer and the subscriber in terms of the commercial paper?
Currently, the commercial papers in Bhutan, they are fully backed by collateral, but even though it's backed by collateral, there are some common risks associated with CP, and one of the risks is credit risks. So even though there is collateral, there is possibility that the issuer will default and that the value or the liquidity of the collateral may not be able to cover the obligation in a timely manner. So that's credit risk. So the second risk is liquidity risk. So since commercial paper are short-term debt instruments, they may not be easily tradable in the secondary market, and particularly given the small market size of Bhutan. So the investors who wish to exit before maturity, it may be difficult for them to find buyers. So another risk involved is market risk. So market risk refers to the changes in interest rates and macroeconomic conditions, which would affect the sentiments of the investors and the attractiveness of the CP. And then we also have operational and administrative risks. So there might be delays or errors in the documentation and valuation of collaterals, and also in the regulatory processes, which may delay or affect the smooth issuance and redemption of CPs. So these are the common risks associated with CPs.
Yes. You mentioned earlier that it's very similar to bonds also. So what are the similarities and differences between maybe a bond and a commercial paper?
So bond and CPs, they are both debt instruments. However, they differ in several key areas. So firstly, the first difference is in the tenure or the maturity period. So commercial papers are short-term debt instrument. As mentioned earlier, they have a maturity period of less than 1 year, whereas bonds are long-term debt instruments with maturity period of several years. And the second difference is the purpose. So CPs are issued to meet immediate financial needs, such as working capital needs, whereas bonds are issued to raise funds for long-term investments such as infrastructure, expansion, and equipment. And then the next difference is interest payment. So as mentioned earlier, CPs, they do not pay regular interest. Instead, they are issued at a discount and redeemed at the face value, whereas bond, they pay regular interest called coupon at different intervals, maybe semi-annually or annually until the maturity. So these are the key difference between CP and bonds.
Yes. Okay, so let's say I'm a company and I want to issue a commercial paper. I can alternatively also maybe get a loan from a bank. So why would, let's say, I as a company opt for a commercial paper rather than a loan?
So a company may choose to raise funds through CP rather than traditional loan for several reasons. So the first reason is due to low interest rate. So CPs usually offer interest rate which is lower than traditional banks. So this means that the issuers, they can save on the borrowing cost. So for instance, currently the average discount rate on CP is 6%, whereas for bank loans, the minimum lending rate itself is around 6.3%. So here we can see that through the issuance of CP, the companies are saving on the borrowing cost. And the second reason is quick access to funds. So CPs are usually faster and involves less paperwork compared to bank loans. So as a result, the companies can access funds more quickly during the times of immediate financial needs. And then the third reason could be more flexibility. So CPs offer company with more flexibility in terms of amount and tenure. And so the commercial paper key tenures, it ranges from 7 days to up to 1 year. So it provides more flexibility for the companies as per their cash flow requirements. So these are the reasons why would a company opt for CPs.
Yes. Also, can you mention maybe, are there already some commercial papers which are already issued or upcoming commercial papers which are going to be issued? Can you give us a little bit insight on what is already there or upcoming?
So currently, we do not have any upcoming commercial paper issuance. But however, till date, we have had 2 issuance of commercial paper for this year. So the first one was issued by State Trading Corporation of Bhutan, STCB. So STCB issued a commercial paper amounting to 200 million, and their interest rate was 5.5% for a tenure of 180 days. And the commercial paper will mature on 12th October this year. And the most recent series was BPCL commercial paper. So the Bhutan Polymers Company Limited, they issued commercial paper worth 40 million, and the interest rate was 6%, and the tenure is 180 days, and the commercial paper will mature on 12th December 2025.
So thank you for giving us an explanation of how it can be issued and already the ones which have issued. But let's say in the perspective of someone who wants to subscribe, whether it be an institution or an individual, how does one go about that?
So once the commercial papers are approved by the PMRC, so the issuer will contact the exchange. So once the exchange have verified the required documents, then we'll make announcement on our website. And also the issuers, they are required to make a public announcement for the issuance of CP 7 days prior to the issue date. So the investors will be able to know that there is upcoming CP through the public medias as well as through our website. So on our website, we'll provide link for the application form. So the investors, if they are interested, they can fill up the form and then submit it to the exchange. And they can also walk into our office and subscribe to the CP.
Okay, Les. So you've given us how to do it, but then can you give us the reason why would one actually opt for subscribing for a commercial paper, whether it be individual investor compared to other maybe investment avenues? So why do you think commercial paper would be attractive?
So there are several reasons why an investor should opt for commercial papers. The first one is flexibility. So for instance, if I as an investor, if I invest in FD, fixed deposit, then I'll have to retain my deposit for a certain fixed term in order to earn interest. Whereas if I invest in CP, then I can exit by trading in the secondary market.
Last Dechen, thank you for giving us very insightful information in regard to commercial paper and the money market. So is there any information that we've left out or you would like to convey to maybe our viewers who are listening today?
Okay, so regarding commercial papers investor base, so currently we mostly have institutional investors that subscribe to CPs, but then individuals are also eligible for subscribing to CPs, but the face value for CP is 100,000 per unit. So if an individual wants to invest, then they will have to purchase at least 1 unit of CP. So the price or the face value per unit is 100,000. So as per their fund availability, they can invest in CP. And also there are associated fees for the issuers when issuing the CP through the exchange. And currently the fees, the issuers, they are required to pay a central depository service fee which is based on a fixed based fee and then a variable fee which is 0.247% of the issue size. So the fee, it will basically depend on the issue size of the CP, and the maximum fee is capped at 500,000. So just to share on the fees associated with the CP, since we didn't cover that.
Yes, thank you, Dechen. And thank you again for all the information you've given us today. I hope our listeners are informed now, whether in regards to what a CP is and how it differs from other debt securities and loans. So thank you for that. And if you've watched till the end, I would like to thank you all for listening. And if you have any questions regards to commercial paper, RSEB's website, social media platform pages, and also the office in town is readily available for all the doubts to be cleared. With that being said, we come to the end of our episode. If you have watched till the end, I thank you all for listening. And if you want to know more information, please check out RSEB's website and other social media pages on all platforms, including YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. With that being said, thank you, and until the next episode, goodbye.